Hey guys, thank you so much for downloading and listening to this episode of On the Beat. Have you rated or reviewed us yet? If not, why? The best way for us to grow is by sharing us with your friends and rating and reviewing us wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify has a new rating feature right on our podcast front page. It is super easy, and the more 5-star ratings and reviews we get, the better it is for us to grow. If you screenshot and DM us your review, we'll share the most flattering ones on an upcoming episode. Thank you so much for listening, and your support is marvelous and appreciated. So I have a few little tidbits that I wanted to bring up.
Titty bits?
No, there's none of those in this film. No titty bits.
No, there's no titties. There's plenty of cock.
No titties. And balls.
Yeah, there's a lot of balls. Yeah, there's a lot of behind the backside balls going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a lot to like.
That Vicar was like a Rottweiler.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and I am joined by not just one, but two people today. My trusty, always co-host Ryan.
Oh, hello.
And by our dear, dear friend, Miriam Ruckert. Hey, Miriam.
Hello, listeners, and hello, Laura and Ryan. Thanks for having me.
Now, we brought you here because this film that we're going to cover today, A Room with a View, the 1985 James Ivory picture, The Romance, has not one, but 3 penises in it.
Yes, there's too much cock for one, two people's analysis here.
Too hot to handle.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that there is even maybe too many balls as well.
There's a lot of droopy ball in this movie.
There's
as
a lot
well.
of bending over.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I was like, I couldn't. I was just like, that's a lot of Vicars behind. I was very shocked.
Yeah, indeed. So this film was, as I said, directed by James Ivory. Do you want to give us a little rundown, Ryan, about
Yeah. I don't
Jimmy
know.
Boy?
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be that many opportunities for us to cover James Ivory. I don't know if there's any more.
You would be surprised.
Oh, really?
And here you are. There's 2 more James Ivory films.
Well, you know what? We'll give him the proper treatment like we give everybody else.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. So James Ivory, probably more well known for making films with his life partner and life producer Ismail Merchant, and they have Merchant Ivory Productions, which was formed back in 1961. And they made at least 44 films together. So a legacy, to say the least.
They made that many films together?
Oh, fucking shit ton. Absolute shit ton.
Jesus.
But I think what's kind of more important, I feel like more kind of on the note, is the fact that, he's making films with effectively the person that he spends the rest of his life with.
It's really romantic.
It's very cute. It's very serendipitous. And I kind of feel like it bleeds very much into his work as well,
Yeah.
But let's cover it. Let's cover it in its totality. So James Ivory is an American film director, producer, screenwriter, and he has worked and obviously has his his work and love relationship with his producer Ismail Merchant, and also writer Ruth Prawer Jabvala. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I don't know. I don't know.
So, he's been making films since 1953. He's made an absolute shit ton, like I've said already. Meets up with Merchant in 61. But what we're going to do, we're going to cover some of the bigger hitters as well. So, we have Savages in 1972. We have The Wild Party in 1975. We have Roseland in 1977. Quartet in 1981.
Penis movie.
Heat and Dust, 1983. Then the film we're covering today, which is A Room with a View, 1985.
Penises.
And then Howard's End in 1992. Morris in 1987.
Penis movie.
And we also have Remains of the Day in 1993.
No penises.
I'm more... No Anthony Hopkins cock in that, no? Okay.
No.
So I would say in The Remains of the Day, I'm kind of more familiar with, and Howard's End, I'm more familiar with. He's not a filmmaker that I've kind of dabbled too far into. This is the first time I've seen A Room with a View. So
Same.
the only thing I would say, and this is kind of more into the the latter part of his career, because Ismail Merchant died in 2005.
Yeah.
And the only other kind of thing I would say of note with James Ivory's career is he wrote the screenplay to Call Me By Your Name in 2017.
Yes, he did.
Now, he was set to co-direct with Luca Guadagnino,
Okay.
right? Jizo.
Yep.
And, but unfortunately, he stepped down in 2016.
Yeah. They had a lot. I actually think that Luca, the director, just straight up ghosted him, fired him
Right,
from
okay.
Call Me By Your Name.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he was pissed.
Yeah, so for either way, he did win the Academy Award for the screenplay and is to this date the oldest living person to have received the Academy Award.
Well,
Any Academy Award at 89 years old.
Wow.
and James Ivory said that if he was able to film or direct Call Me By Your Name, there would have been a lot more penises in it. He actually said that.
Quote.
We were robbed.
Yeah.
We were robbed.
Yeah. Still a fantastic film, though.
I know, I love that
Yeah,
movie.
still a fantastic film.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Well, gosh. This film stars Helena Bonham Carter, HBC.
HBC.
Babe. Babe.
This is her first film.
I know,
It's her
she's
first feature
so
film.
cute.
Fuck
I
off.
mean, I can't
Yeah.
even like look at her and think Bellatrix Lestrange. She's so innocent. It's just wow.
She's such a little treasure.
Oh my god.
This is before she had all that Tim Burton.
Or that Fight Club energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
There's
Marla.
there's this thing she does with her eyes a lot through the movie that it was like one of the only things that kept me going. Because for a while I was like, oh, this is a very slow, very British movie. But it was this like very sweet, like eye movement. She was just so likable and sweet and endearing that I was like, for
Yeah.
you, kid, I'm gonna keep watching. And the dicks, obviously, but for you, kid.
Yeah, we get a really nice prelude right in the middle of all this.
If I had a tumor, I'd call it Marla. Yeah. Oh. Isn't that sweet?
It's not sweet.
No. If I did have a tumor, I'd probably call it Morris, because he's all... Oh, no, it's not Morris. It's
Cecil.
Marcus. Or Cecil.
Who are you talking
Cecil.
about?
No, it's Cecil. It's not Cecil.
Cecil.
It's
Is it
Cecil.
Cecil?
He
Cecil.
calls him. She calls him Cecil.
Oh, okay.
Is it
Either
Cecil?
way.
Cecil by the seaside. Anyway, he was lanky hotness. Like when he took them glasses off, I was like, "Girl, okay, hold on, Daniel Day, bring it."
Oh my god.
There's a
Okay,
lot, there's
let
a
me
lot we're gonna
let
say
me
about
just go
that
through
guy.
the rest of the cast because I
Yeah.
have a lot
Sorry.
to say about Daniel Day-Lewis. Okay,
Yes.
Julian Sands plays Baby George Emerson, and Maggie Smith is Charlotte Bartlett.
Oofed. Big Maggie.
Oh,
Fucking
Denham
love
Elliott,
a bit of Maggie.
Papa Emerson, Daniel Day-Lewis is Cecil. Rupert Graves plays Freddie Honeychurch, little brother.
Okay.
And Simon Callow is Mr. Beebe. Beebe, sorry.
Mr. Beebe.
The Vicar.
I wanted to keep calling him Beebe.
Yeah.
Maybe I should say the synopsis of the film before I because I'm about to go off on Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. Well, let's cover the foundation of the movie first,
Okay.
and then we can start letting rip into our particular kind of
I'm gonna talk
love
for
and fantasies for
5 hours.
For Daniel Day-Lewis's scene eating.
Yes.
Can I ask a very important question? And
Absolutely.
it's possibly really important for our non-having ever lived in the UK listeners. Ryan, can you please tell me what is a vicar and why is he allowed to smoke and be cool compared to a priest? Like, what's the difference? I'm very confused.
Oh. So as far as I'm aware, in terms of vicars and priests,
Also, you have a priest who I believe is Catholic.
yes.
And you have a vicar that might be Protestant, and Protestants can marry
Yeah.
people.
Yes.
And
they
apparently
can.
smoke cigarettes.
Yes. They're not
Just like
solely
run around naked.
And
they're
just,
not
yeah.
solely
With some
married
friends.
married to the fictitious character that we call God. So
Yeah.
they're able to actually have a real life as opposed to to feeling like they need to be they need to take away the entirety of their existence to some metaphysical fictitious being.
So it's kind of like a Southern preacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It reminds me of...
I mean, the best example is probably like the Vicar of Dibley. Like, they had a sitcom back home called The Vicar of Dibley that was Dawn French.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's for our UK listeners, obviously, who know that fucking show. By the same, what's his name? Richard, what's his face? He did Love Actually, that terrible fucking film.
Yeah, I was going to say it reminded me of like Pride and Prejudice, how, she's got that annoying cousin that wants to marry her. Remember that? She's just like, I'd rather die alone. Please fucking.
Oh, sorry.
leave me
I
alone.
thought you were talking about Maggie Smith because I love Maggie. I love her. But in this, I was like, she's driving me crazy.
She was the most...
Cousin Charlotte, like there was a reason. Everyone's like, oh, not Cousin Charlotte. Please don't invite Cousin Charlotte. And I was like,
she's
for
the
good
villain
reason.
of this film.
She's, yikes.
If there's a villain, it's her.
What, Maggie Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She's blabbing her mouth about everything that's going on in town.
To be fair, I feel like she's led on a little bit by Judi Dench, who honestly, as well, cannot keep her mouth shut. But the thing is, every single scene that they inhabit, I'm just like, gold, 24 karat fucking solid gold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Curtis directed Love Actually.
There you go.
He also did About Time, which I absolutely love.
That's fine. I mean,
You've seen that one, Miriam? It's got Donald
think so.
Gleason and what's her face?
Wow.
Rachel.
Aren't we informed? I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The synopsis of this film that I pulled from Letterboxd as usual is when Lucy Honeychurch and chaperone Charlotte Bartlett find themselves in Florence with rooms without views.
How rude!
Oh, God.
Okay, sorry. Her fellow guests Mr. Emerson and son George step in to remedy the situation. Meeting the Emersons could change Lucy's life forever, but once back in England, how will her experience in Tuscany affect her marriage plans?
Oh, boy. So.
This film starts and ends with the titular line, you guys. Starts and
Yes.
ends with the titular line.
Yeah, it
I
does.
almost died.
Yeah. It is so wrapped in drama. It's very hard to really unwrap it all in one single episode, but we will definitely try our
Oh my
best.
God. When they get in that
Yes.
room and there's no view, they almost shit their pants.
Holy Mother of Christ.
They're like, there's no view.
Yes.
We
I
asked for
wrote,
views.
and I quote in my notes that I did audio and lost. I was like, oh, it's like that view from Laura's place in Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want a nice view.
Like a junkies,
Yeah.
like a buskers. There is violence, though. There is a fair amount of violence that the HBC is subjected to, but yeah, there's not any junkies as far as I'm aware.
Italians are so sweet and lovable, but also so violent.
Yes.
I was so confused. I was like, are the Italians just so strong they can just punch a man to death? And then I had to rewind it, and then I realized the guy had a shiv, and I was like, oh.
He had a shiv?
I see. Yeah, I had to rewind it, and then I was
shit.
like,
Okay.
I was wondering. I thought
he
he
has a little shiv in his hand, and then he gets him,
fuck.
and I was like, oh, that makes more sense. I thought he just punched him real hard.
I thought he punched him to death. Like he
Right.
did a death punch to his
Okay.
gut.
so
Yeah.
did
Blood
I.
everywhere.
And I was like,
Yeah, it did like a
Italians aren't
5-finger
that
death
strong.
punch. I thought that was it. I thought that was going to be the end of him there because he
Oh
just
my
kicked the
God.
living fuck out of him. Well, the thing is, the minute it started happening, I shouted "Euro fight," and it just really kicked off. Because God knows what this man said. He probably said something about their mother, and it's just like, right, okay, you're fucking dead. But the thing is, it really kind of devolves into fucking bedlam. He's bleeding out of the mouth. And
Yeah.
they carry him towards the fountain to the point where I'm like, they're gonna fucking drown him now. I don't understand what's gonna happen. They're gonna fucking kill him. And obviously
No, yeah.
HBC faints because it's that kind of film.
Oh, I
And,
loved that. She's just can't see the blood.
Yeah.
And she faints, and
got-
Lil Emerson
yeah.
comes up and just scoops her up.
Well, he starts waving her down with his hat and stuff, try and get her to come back round again.
That was pure romance.
There
Pure
was,
romance.
but then the man dies, and the reverse KKK team came down, and they put him on a buggy, and they took him away.
That was rough.
I did not expect that. There's
No.
also before we even get to that moment, there's a whole shit thing about this view, about this room with the view.
Yeah.
That is effectively the crux of this entire story and how it devolves into mania.
It's just a couple of men trying
Yes.
to go, listen, we got rooms with views. Take our rooms with views. And they go, oh, absolutely not. And they're like, no, honestly, it's not a
Yeah.
problem. They go, no, Jesus. And they have to leave.
Yeah. No.
Like, how dare you, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
just like take the room, lady. Like it was like, oh no, we couldn't possibly. No, please, no, heavens, no, Betsy, no, please, no. And you're just like, lady, like you were just complaining for like 25 minutes about this fucking view. Take the room.
And then they complained for another 20 minutes about how rude they were to even offered
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
to
God.
give the room.
Yeah.
But then,
I wish
the
life
guy
was
just like
this
later
simple.
on just barges into the room, and then as 2 scenes later, they're found like just in these old ladies' rooms, like with flowers, and I'm just like, does no one think it's weird that these 2 dudes just break into women's rooms?
I thought it was going to turn into some sort of like father-son orgy.
Yeah, they like a bit of the crinkly. Like
my
that
God.
was it. Yeah. Like they were just kind of you know. Hey, look, that's fine. I mean, we're completely glossing over the dinner scene where like
Right.
Denholm Elliott's there and he like full on turns around, and I'm calling him Marcus because that is his name in the Indiana
Marcus!
Jones movies. Yeah. I'm calling him
From
that 'cause
Indiana
that's who
Jones,
he is in
Laura.
Indiana
That face.
Jones. And he's just like screaming at this woman, being like, put down your fucking lemonade. Like, don't drink the lemonade. It'll fuck your stomach up. And then also it's like, well, no, we've got this view. You got to take the fucking view.
Yeah. The way he talks to her about that lemonade was shocking.
Yes.
He just turns around. So he's just like, oh, you're drinking lemonade?
I'm disgusted.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
This time
Fuck
of
you.
the morning. This time of the morning.
she's like,
You're
fuck
drinking
off.
lemonade. And obviously we're kind of like, I'm trying to pepper it a little bit because like I fail to see the drama that's kind of obviously unfolding in this film. Certainly period films in general, like I find it very hard to kind of engage in them in any way, shape or form.
Same.
And I guess that kind of shows a very much lack of tact or decency or intelligence on my part. But
I love it.
yes, there is one thing I will say about period films, and it's the one thing I'll always say about period films, is they look fucking beautiful. They look really good. I think,
do.
yeah, I certainly think that Tony Pierce Roberts did a fantastic job of making this film, every single frame looks like an impressionist painting.
Oh,
They
yeah.
won
there were
costume.
times-
They won best costume as an Oscar.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
cool.
there were times I wanted to pause it, and I'm like, we need to
Mm-hmm.
put this on our, on our travel list. I want to go to that spot.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think like
Beautiful.
we'll try and go as chronologically as we can to kind of hit each of these little things that we have and we're kind of figuring out and things like that. But there are some very beautiful parts of this film.
Yeah. I never wanted to go to Florence before, but now I do.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I guess like it would be very difficult from a cinematographer's point of view to make Florence look like shite.
I'm trying to think of like what happens next in this movie, but
Oh,
I guess
Judi
it doesn't
Dench.
matter.
Judi
They
Dench.
go to the countryside in carriages, and there's a whole introduction, which I was like, I mean, we could have gotten this by just looking at the movie for 2 seconds, but it's like so and 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 so are all in carriages driven by Italians. And you're like, why did I need that written on the screen? I can
We were
see that with
cracking
my
up.
eyes.
Yes.
Driven by Italians.
Oh,
like,
not
what is that?
Italians!
Well, the thing
in
is, that's not
Italy!
what it says because I put it specifically in my notes. Is that Italians drive them?
Oh,
Yes, that's what it
Italians
says.
drive them.
Italians drive them. So I was like, oh, okay.
so you just have this juxtaposition between these saucy Italians and these uptight English folk.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that they're sitting on that carriage and there's that young Italian boy driving the carriage, saucing up this girl, and he turns around and goes, "What? It's my sister."
Right.
Well, it's all right. I mean,
Can't be like
the
that.
priest had her kicked off the carriage and just left in the middle of the countryside somewhere. Who knows where she lives?
Yeah.
How's she gonna get home? Really?
I thought she was going to jump on the carriage behind.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They just left her there. But little Emerson, little George, he's not little, he's just the son. But he walked home. So it wasn't that far.
No. And that was it. But then basically, I think what I had on my notes was like, the priest, the vicar, whatever. He goes, yeah, get out the cart, you whore.
You said that?
No, because I'm saying that personally because I'm trying to add more to what we have here in the film. So
I was like, whoa.
I imagine
Subtext.
that's what the priest was actually saying in Italian, like, because we have no idea. I didn't have Italian subtitles. It's okay to let peasant girls walk around by themselves, but not rich girls. They are not allowed to walk around by themselves. Peasant girls, who cares what happens to them? That's what he was saying. Guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
That's true.
He had a level of decency that he felt like he was trying to uphold.
And everyone's like, calm down, bro.
Because he was doing the tours and stuff back in Florence as well.
Yeah.
And certainly there was the bit with Marcus. Marcus goes, look at the fat man.
I loved that.
So good.
I loved that whole thing where they're all just standing and like they're looking at the artwork and all of this stuff, and that you've got all these fancy English folk in their big hats just looking this way, and then they're looking this way, and they're looking this way.
So
And I'm like,
stupid.
This movie is hilarious.
So stupid.
Yeah. The more I kind of think about it, the more I think it's a kind of fucking slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
Except without any of the slapstick.
It's hilarious.
Just kind of,
I
very
think
silly.
a few times, I think the movie is also kind of poking fun at that, like, pre-packaged British holiday, like, passion that is still in existence today. But it's like, like when Maggie Smith and Dame Judi Dench get lost in the alleyways, and she's like, "Put down your book. Let's just get crazy and get lost." And just like,
so
they
glad.
keep talking about how terrible it is to have these like guides of where to go in Florence, where to go in Italy if you're from the UK, and it's like that still exists.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we brought this up because I was like, we need to get back to this bit.
How she's just like smelling Italian men.
Well, the thing is, like in the film, they have up these title cards and stuff. They kind of segment the film off in these chapters, right? And then this thing, like, it came up on the screen, and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And I was like, "Laura, rewind it. We need to see what it says." And it's like, "In Santa Croce with no BiTTE." What is? And we're like, "What the fuck
BiTTE's
does
the
that
book.
mean?"
It's a weird book.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know because I'm not smart. But like that happens, and then they're walking around through the streets, and they're like, it's a lovely thing to get lost, and I'm like, I can appreciate that. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where they stop in the street, and they're like, take it in, like start smelling it, just like inhale it. Like
Every
all the
city has a smell.
yeah, Gardy Lou's probably still a thing over in Italy at this point.
Oh, then? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like they're throwing shit and piss into the streets, and then it obviously goes down the drains and
That's
stuff
what
like
Gardy
that.
Lou means. I don't know if everyone knows that.
Aye. Well, I mean, I don't know. That's what I call it, but
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. But they're like, she's like, Maggie, fucking take a sniff, just like take it in, because every city has its own smell.
Well, what happened after that is that Maggie walks by and puts a handkerchief up to her nose because it smells like shit.
Mm-hmm. She's the
And
villain of
because
the
she's
piece,
so
remember?
Yeah, she really is. She is the villain.
There's only so much shit
No
I'm
one
going to
can-
take about Maggie Smith though, because she's my she's my she's my Jean Brody,
Oh, right.
like the Prime Miss Jean Brody.
I still haven't seen that film.
Yeah, I mean she's been making films for at least 200 years. I mean
Yeah.
she's
And I wasn't allowed
yeah.
to say that she's been old forever.
Oh my god, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, has she ever been young?
No.
hey look. You're all going to be hating it when she does pop her clogs, and everyone's going to be like,
Oh,
at
I
least that
love
was
Maggie
nice."
Smith. She's a Gryffindor. She's, she's in my house.
Harry
Like, I
Potter,
love her.
nice.
But, like, I'm like,
We don't
she's
really, we don't commit to that because we're
Yeah, we
Ravenclaw.
don't think yeah, we don't think Harry Potter exists on this podcast.
Hey, look.
So
It's a movie podcast. It's a movie, right?
it tries to be.
I cried during that reunion.
Oh
that
my
Harry
god,
Potter reunion
yeah.
thing.
That Ron was like weird. Rupert, I was like, are you okay, dude? You seem a little off.
Yeah.
Well, he had children. That was the problem.
Yeah, and apparently
got
kidney
kids?
stones. He threw
Yeah.
that out there. He's like, oh, I've had
He's
kidney
got children.
stones.
He's like, my life is ruined because effectively he had children. Like anyone who's seen The Lost Daughter recently will understand that having children completely ruins your life.
The Lost Daughter is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. So here we are. We're back in. Are we back in? Are we in England when the Italians are driving them?
We're not
No,
in England
no,
because
they're
a
in,
lot of stuff happens before
Florence.
that. I had to
They're
look at
in
my
Florence.
notes.
They're in Florence.
Right.
Yeah, we're still there because
In those fields of ridiculously tall grass that just looks very uncomfortable to sit in.
Yeah. Well, that's when HBC goes to find Emerson.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole film.
Is it because it's the most romantic scene?
It looks so fucking good. Like, I don't know what it is or what they've done, but like the way the fields look.
I've got a little behind the scenes info about that.
Yeah, please tell me.
So they shot that. I think it took like 3 days because they were trying to do it at Magic Hour.
Wow.
And it was just like, and she was so young. I don't think she'd ever actually kissed anybody before. She was still living with her parents.
Well, how old is she at this
19.
point? Oh, wow. Okay.
So her mom was like on set during all of her kiss scenes, which is super awkward. And she had to walk through that field in those heels. And she said it was like the most difficult working day was that particular scene. And she's just like, she was just trying to get to him. She goes, all I knew is I had to get to him through that field. And it was really hard. And he just grabs her and kisses her. But it's absolutely beautiful. I had no idea what his motivation was to kiss her anyway. It was kind of out of the blue.
It looked as good as that scene out of Solaris when he's walking through the field in the movie. Like, it looks like so...
All right, film boy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's exactly what it spurred to mind when
George
I was
Clooney,
watching
right?
it. No. Let's just move on. Oh, dear.
I haven't finished the original one yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's 6 hours long.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking opus. But anyway, it's fine.
It is
But
beautiful.
yeah.
It's a really, really, really beautiful scene. Really beautiful shot. Magic Hour, baby.
Yeah. Well,
Do anything for Magic Hour.
But then Maggie Smith comes out because, like, she's the prime cop blocker in this movie.
Villain.
Yeah.
She comes out of there and puts a halt to the whole thing. After that, they end up back in England, right?
We're back in England, and then this is
Well,
where...
they do have a whole conversation about, Maggie's like, don't, she's like, you got to tell your mother, right? She's like, you're going to tell your mother. You tell your mother everything. You're going to tell her about this kiss. And she's like, I'm not going to tell anybody. Why would I tell my mom? Why would I tell anybody? And so they agree, we're not telling anybody. We're not telling anybody about the kiss. It's just going to be between you and me. And she keeps saying, well, George is definitely going to tell all of his friends.
What has happened to poor cousin Charlotte in her past that she's so adamant about boys talking about this kind of stuff?
She's like, he's one of those boys. He's just one of those boys. It's going to ruin your reputation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we do.
What?
We do. We ruin reputations. That's the sort of boys that we are.
Bad boy. You're
Bad
you're
boys.
in that bad boys. The bad boys camp.
Yeah, what you going to do?
Come for you.
Yeah, see? Miriam got it. Yeah.
Bad boys.
I understood. No Will Smith jokes.
No, it was the TV show. It's like-
Yeah.
Well, they say that song's in the movie. In all 3 movies, Bad Boys for Life.
Yes, we are.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Laura just really wants to get back to England because that's where they introduced Daniel Day-Lewis. And all his lanky glory. It took me like a hot minute to realize who it was. And then I was like, oh shit, Daniel Day.
Yeah,
and I
100%,
love
yeah.
me a weird, ratty, like nerd. God, it was so cute. And then like the glasses came off and I was like, hold up. Mama like.
Yeah, I mean, as a counterpoint to that introduction, because I didn't realize he was in the movie at all, but I was just like, who's this vaudevillian cunt right here with the fucking mustache? I was like, Jesus Christ, because like he walks into that drawing room like he looks like he's about to start juggling, like it's all over the place.
He is amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He is my favorite thing about this movie.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the film
Perfect.
the film goes to a completely different fucking level the minute he shows up. Cuz I think I said it in my review on Letterboxd. I was just like Daniel Day-Lewis must have had to go on a diet after he did this film because of all the scenery he was chewing up.
Nice.
Like it's insane.
Yes.
Yeah. Cuz he's like a primary reason why like the trajectory of this film just goes to a completely different level. It's insane.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling you that I had recently watched My Beautiful Laundrette, which is a completely different film.
Yeah.
Where he ends up falling in love. He's like a street gangster in London, and he ends up falling in love with like his childhood friend who's from Pakistan, or he's like got a Pakistani family.
Yeah.
And it's a delightful gay film, you know?
Yeah.
Same year that came out, this film came out. And so people are seeing these two films in the theaters in the same year going like, who the fuck is this man?
Yeah.
Like, he's got range, baby.
Yeah. And for anyone who's not seen My Beautiful Laundrette, it's Stephen Frears' 1985 movie. It's a British film classic.
As soon as Daniel Day-Lewis shows up, which is obviously an incredible moment for everybody and viewers worldwide, but I don't know how he and HBC know each other, and I don't know how they ended up getting engaged like right away.
I think they probably have like known each other for a while, but it's like really, I guess it's one of those things, it's probably in the book like much more detailed, but I feel like they have like a house in this country, but he also lives in London because he's like always at these museums and he's a Mr. Poshman, I think. But like, dude, I swear, I was like, at any minute now, like he's just gonna tie her to a railroad track with this like look he's got going on here.
Fuck. Well, the thing is, the way
We
this
just
film
needed the
the way
curls.
I know. Like, I was just like, is he a villain? Is he a good guy? Like, it's so hard with Daniel Day-Lewis. You can never tell.
everything.
Yeah, well, he definitely hams it up a bit, probably to like Buster Keaton levels of fucking insanity. I mean, it's a lot.
So funny. There's this one moment, and I know it's a little bit later, but when I don't know if it's HBC or her mom that like looks out the window, and Daniel Day-Lewis is outside with a cup of tea, and he's like fighting a bee. Like swatting a bee away.
It was cousin Charlotte. It was cousin Charlotte.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That I rewound that 3 times. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he is a character. Let's put it this way. But certainly
so funny.
anything that we know about Daniel Day-Lewis, at least at this point, is that he wasn't just that character. He became that character probably over the course of fucking months.
Method.
So yes.
Method man.
So depending on how long it was after or before My Beautiful Laundrette when he was in that movie, God knows what sort of multiple personality disorder he probably developed as a result of becoming either one of those characters simultaneously over the course of a year.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. But so he ends up speaking to the Emersons, right? So like that's where HBC met the Emersons and George with the kiss and all this nonsense in Italy. And then back in England, there was like a villa that was for rent, right? And then Daniel Day-Lewis ends up meeting the Emersons at a museum.
Well, here's the thing. This is where I kind of check out because there's a whole bunch of stuff that starts happening.
Get committed.
Well, the problem is like we talk about like drama or we talk about like real drama, and then I'm kind of like, I'm sorry if your cucumber sandwich is not made to the precision that you're expecting it to be, but I don't, in my mind, feel like that is worth exploring thematically over the course of a film. Like I don't understand it.
If my cucumber sandwich isn't perfect, I will rage.
Yeah, but then it's just kind of like, it's like, oh, if you don't like your cucumber sandwich, here's a bottle of water.
We're never inviting you back to the country club. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing tennis. Let's put it that way.
Because I think it was like that the older lady friends, their travel buddies from the beginning of the movie, were going to rent that cottage in the country, right? I think that was like the whole thing.
Yeah, the Allenses. She was all like, oh, let's write to the Allenses. And I was like, why is she so obsessed with these like two old ladies? Like that she kind of met that were like weird. And I think it's just, I don't know, maybe she wanted to like reminisce about Italy, or she was like, I don't know why she was so hell-bent on getting these two crazy old ladies who like to move into that house. Like, what was that? I don't know.
I almost felt like it was because she found out that the Emersons were moving in, maybe, that she was like furious.
No, she found out
shit.
afterwards.
Well, I don't know then. She's like,
Yeah,
she
then she got all mad at Daniel Day-Lewis. She was like, how dare you? You completely went behind my back and you knew I wanted those weird old ladies to move in, and then you just met some random guys in a museum and then you told them to move in. I can't believe you, rude. And then he was like, oh, I've never seen you like this.
He likes it when she gets mad.
Drama.
I was like, oh, watch
Drama.
out.
Romance.
Drama,
Intrigue.
romance. Yeah, because this film is a fucking romance, right? I mean,
That is the
exactly
genre.
what this is. Like, it is romance as fuck.
Romance.
Yeah, aye.
It is not a drama,
No.
but it is funny.
No.
It's funny.
Okay.
So instead, because Daniel Day-Lewis met the Emersons at the museum, they're going to get the cottage. And I don't think they have any idea that Lil Honeychurch is living out in the country as well. Out of all the towns and all the worlds.
It's all just,
You pissed in mine.
yeah.
You pissed in my town. You got your balls out in my town.
Yeah. This is what we're
God,
leading
can we
towards.
please get to
are we
that
ready?
scene?
Okay.
Well, the thing is,
my
like, there's a couple of
God.
other
Can I-
little things I had, like, in my notes before we get to this.
Okay.
Because obviously we talk about,
Okay,
like, Mr.
okay.
Beebe, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Beebe, who I liken to Mr. Bean, the
You
Rowan
did.
Atkinson creation.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson, who was also in Love Actually. Richard Curtis.
Why the fuck are we bringing that up again?
Because
I felt
you brought it
bad
up
bringing
earlier. I'm bringing
Yeah,
it back.
I felt terrible bringing it up in the first time.
Do you remember in that Mr. Bean movie when he goes to LA and he's in that convertible and someone flips him off, and so he's in the convertible going,
Yeah. Aye. Well, it's because
funny.
it's because
Comedy.
it's because the British are so easily amused. That's why there's Mrs. Brown Boys over there as well.
"Oh, that's your favorite show."
Fucking trash. Fucking
Mrs.
big
Brown's
time
Boys.
trash. Why the fuck have neither of
Isn't
you
Mrs. Brown's
talked
Boys
about
Irish?
The kiss,
Okay. What kiss?
the Sissel and HBC kiss.
Oh.
Because I don't think that happened yet.
Yeah, it has. It's in my notes here.
It happened before all the nudity.
Yeah, big time.
She shows him the lake. They go to the pond, and
Yeah.
she's like,
Yeah.
"This is
again,
the magic
like
pond."
one of the most beautiful moments.
That is a beautiful
it looks
scene.
fantastic. But the problem is like his mustache gets in the way.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
she shows him the bathing lake, which looks totally different later on. It looks like a different
Yeah,
location completely.
yeah. Totally.
They needed
different
more
lake.
space for all the balls, but anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, she shows him that lake, and he says something like, "Oh, do you mind if I kiss you?" or something. I can't remember what he said. She's like, "Well, I wondered why you
Yeah.
hadn't yet."
Well, you're wearing this dumb veil for
He
no
tries
reason.
to. She's like, it was so awkward. She's like holding the umbrella, and he's holding his cane, and then she's got to put the veil up, and she's like, "Well, hold my umbrella," and it's that like super awkward exchange.
And I'll interject here, and I'm gonna say it looks like a fucking Monet painting. It looks
Yeah.
it looks like the front cover of a fridge calendar. Like it looks amazing.
It looked
so
fake.
beautiful.
It was so nice.
And then the juxtaposition of how awkward the kiss was made even better by like you think in this beautiful surrounding there's going to be this beautiful kiss, and then it's just like awkward, glasses fall off.
He like
Yeah.
he comes to
Well,
her
so-
face
yeah.
like he doesn't move his lips. It's just like flat lips.
Well, he just doesn't. Well, it's because Daniel Day-Lewis is playing this character like a stick of piss. Like I mean, that's just kind of how it is. It's just this. Yeah, there it is. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a moment.
James is just like, Helen, just kiss it,
Jesus.
and then that's it. That's what happens. It's just like, look, we've done all the work. We've made it fantastic looking. Just
She's like, "Don't worry, Daniel
Yeah.
Day-Lewis will do everything. You don't have to do
yeah.
a thing."
D-Lewis, he's acting like a stick.
But he
Just
doesn't
kiss it.
know his way around a
No, he
woman,
does
you know?
not. He doesn't know his way around a woman, and that's what Emerson says later on.
Doesn't even know what one is, really.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Later on, when we get to this dick scene, he knows his way around a bush.
The mom, too. She cracks me up with her, like, she's like sly one-liners, man. She just slides them in there when no one's listening. They're like, what? She's like, nothing. I'm too old to fucking repeat myself, okay? I like to go around the mom. She's like, look, I said it once.
Well, mom gets a big eyeful at just after an hour, 4 minutes, and 55 seconds, which is our multi-penis scene. The most penises we've ever had in a movie so far. Mm-hmm. This is a gargantuan moment in cinema.
And we're at least a good 45 minutes into this episode. I feel like we're going to spend at least a good 20 minutes just talking about
4 hours. I want 4 hours to talk about
I kind of
these
feel
penises.
Like in order to keep some level of
I
want
to introduce this scene. Like, it's so good.
To keep some kind of level of law and order with this examination, I kind of feel like everyone needs their time to talk about it.
Okay.
It's kind of like a counseling session. Okay. I kind of feel like we've all kind of experienced something during this time. I can only assume that with Miriam as well, like, you're just like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Remember when you had spoken to your friend Miriam and you asked, is there full frontal nudity in this film? And your friend goes, no, I don't think so. And then...
Lightweight.
Yeah, no, my exact thing was like, I don't really know why Laura was making me watch this movie, because it just looks like one of those boring romantic period pieces. Hey, have you ever seen this movie? Are there dicks in it, my friend? Not that I can remember. So I think that whole scene was edited out for the Irish audiences, because there's no way you were going to forget that. There was no forgetting any of that.
Yeah,
that was an unforgettable scene.
Film board there. Yeah.
So I think that the Irish probably that whole scene just cut out, because like you can't forget that. That's one of those things to take to the grave.
I mean, that's a 10-minute long dicks and balls swinging like crazy.
But I think my favorite part of this whole scene is just like. Look, there's a new chap moving into this house here. Come along there, young man. Let's go visit him in your weird, I don't know, you're going to sing a show tune outfit. Let's go and say hi.
Like a barbershop quartet.
Oh, hello, strange man that's taking way too long upstairs. And then they're like, let's go for a swim. Okay, best friends. And you're just like, that was like 5 minutes.
He said.
You met him?
He
5
walks in the door,
minutes
he goes, how do you do? Come and have a bathe.
That's right! And the vicar is even like, oh my god, that's the most interesting introduction I've ever
Sounds
heard.
lovely. I'll join you. No, let's all go have a bathe.
What?
Come to my bathing pond. Show me your wiener.
It's a lovely pond.
What happened to the world that this isn't how we greet each other anymore?
Yeah.
Well, here's my
simpler
thing,
times,
right? And I don't know if it's like because of the films that we've watched for either the podcast or just in general, because I think this happens in Power of the Dog as well, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like you go to like a bathing pool or you go to like a pond or whatever, like a creek, whatever, right? And the minute like all these men get naked, because you're not going in with your clothes on, all the men get naked, they all get in the water, they all start splashing about and like playing around, it immediately gets homoerotic.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Aye.
100%.
Yeah.
They are wrestling each other.
Yeah.
They're tossing each other around.
Yeah.
They
just met.
Yeah. They just met each other.
Yeah.
And they're like pulling each other into the water by their ankles and like climbing on top of each other's backs. I was like, that guy was like, there's a dick on my back, but I don't care.
It's all fun and games.
Yeah.
It's totally normal. All fun and games.
I don't remember a time where that's ever happened to me.
Oh, no?
No, I don't
because
think
if you
so.
did, I'd want to hear about it in detail.
Yeah,
really?
Because I'm not
It seems
sure.
like that's what happens
there
to all
are
the
moments
boys.
in my life where things have happened
Right.
in some kind of form or another.
Tease the
My
sexy
goodness.
stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time,
This podcast.
I'm like, I don't know. Potentially,
This is for Ryan's other podcast, Ryan's Secrets.
Ryan's gay secrets.
Ryan's Sexy Secrets.
So let's now take this as a basis, and then let's take it in turns to decide like how we feel about this scene, like, and what unfolds.
I feel good about it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. So, Laura, have you taken your turn? Is that fine?
I watched it 3 times in a row. I rewinded it and watched it.
Yeah,
right,
I
okay.
did it.
Had to.
We
I
did
mean,
it twice,
come on.
and then Ryan goes, "Please don't rewind this again."
Yeah, don't. The thing is, like, I mean, I was laughing to the point of tears.
I took a picture of him
watching
laughing.
it because of how far it devolves.
Because it doesn't stop; it keeps going.
No,
So the two
no.
you
I've
got
got a boot!
George.
Oh, I've got a boot! You're like, what the fuck is
Yeah, the two younger guys get in. George and little brother Honeychurch jump
Yeah.
in. The vicar's just standing there in his vicar outfit.
Yeah.
And they go, "Come on,
Smoking.
Vicar. Come on, Beeb. Get on in." He goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I don't mind if I do." Strips down. And you hadn't seen any penises yet
No.
when this happens.
No.
Until now.
And then the first one you see
Is Beebs.
is a Coke
Is
can.
Beebs.
Yeah. But it's like it's yeah. I mean, it's perfectly fine because it's because they hold on this wide shot, and I
Yeah.
will say, like the whole essence of this scene and just how it is in its totality is that it's brazen, it's brave, it's honest,
Yes.
and it's probably the most jovial and innocent of any of the scenes that we have ever covered on this podcast. And I feel like that's why it's amazing.
It is amazing. It is
Yeah.
special. It's different to anything that we've done before. And yeah, it doesn't fall into any of the categories that we've ever done before.
No, of
there's
course not.
There's no sexual
No.
elements whatsoever.
And I'm not too sure. I mean, I mean if we never come come about on a scene very similar to this again, like I will not be surprised
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, no, continue describing it. So Beeb's getting his clothes off.
Yeah, he's getting his clothes off, and
Yes.
then it just holds, because you're right, it is that wide shot, and he's just in the nude, you know, just like everyone else is, and it's totally fine. He jumps into the water, and that's when they start just like, splish, 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 splash, and they're just like little boys.
The splashing.
I
Oh
hate
my
splashing
God,
in
yeah.
the water, by the way. Hate it. It makes me
so-
very mad.
So ridiculous.
You don't like getting who likes getting splashed in the face?
Nobody. It was just.
It doesn't bring me joy.
I feel like they were like, look, if we just splash really fast, we'll all get over the fact that we're looking at each other's dicks. Like, you know, like just like innocence. You're just like, oh, we're naked, but like let's splash each other, then we'll just forget that we're naked. And then it's like that scene in Fantasia with all the fawns and the satyrs, and you know, everyone's just happy being naked.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it goes from
comparable to the Disney film expression of happiness and innocence.
Yeah. You know
Yes.
what? I like that. That's true.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean,
It's
there's
pure,
a lot.
very
There's a lot of
pure.
stuff. That's the thing that I really like about it, though. And the thing is, like, I mean, I'm laughing my fucking head off because I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Because it's so out of turn with everything else. Because I don't know what A Room with a View is rated as, but like,
When we put it, because it was on, we watched it on HBO Max. It's streaming on HBO Max,
Yeah.
and it was rated TVMA, mature,
see, yeah, that's the thing.
which
So
is
I don't,
weird. Because
Well,
I don't think that's what it would have been rated when it came out on wide release.
Well, I don't know. It's gratuitous male nudity. Like that's the reason why.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, here's the thing. Like, when this came out, people have had interviews with James Ivory, and he was asked what was the audience reaction to all of the male nudity. He goes, it wasn't a thing.
No.
No one even talked about it.
No.
It wasn't an issue.
Yeah,
It was
no.
just is what it was.
Yeah.
He goes, if this
Yeah.
film came out today, it would be a huge conversation.
Yeah.
You know, everyone was fine with the nudity in this film. It wasn't even a thing. When he did his film Quartet, which was 81, I believe,
Okay.
that was like his first like nudity in a film that they had done.
Yeah.
And it was, I believe it was French. No one would get naked. They could not find a French actor to get naked for that film.
Huh.
And I'm
Interesting.
sure we'll talk about that more because I'm sure we'll eventually do that film as well. But they're like, well, I found an English actor that could do it, no problem.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm like, it's weird.
Okay.
It is weird
Okay.
to think that a French actor wouldn't get naked.
I mean, I would say that we're still in this kind of very funny period where, you know, the minute a dick is seen, we're all kind of like, oh well, you know, Isn't that something that can go on the, we're very much kind of led into like a social media sort of platform where, clickbaity fucking nonsense, which is kind of where we are right now. But I do not want to detract from the fact that we have only spoken about at least a fraction of this stick scene.
Right. Okay, I think I'm good for now. I can jump in. Miriam, what do you have to say about this scene? I want to know.
Oh, well, I mean, like I said, when I started watching the movie, I was there may have been a few eye rolls and a few like, oh God, it's so British, it hurts moments. And then as the movie progressed, it started to get a bit more fun. And then, like we said, Daniel Day-Lewis is brought in, and then everything changes. But yeah, no, it was just like I'm watching it, and like my reaction at first was pretty much like Ryan's. Like, I was just going, what the fuck is happening? What is you just met this guy. You're like, I'm gonna climb on him. I'm gonna pull him in. I'm gonna tickle him. I'm gonna run around. Like 5 minutes ago, you were not sure if you were even gonna like this guy. You were like, oh, he's moved into the house. Why is he taking so long upstairs? Is this guy a freak? I'll invite him to a bath to see what his merit is. And then, like, they just start running around in circles, chasing each other.
Yeah.
And, like, the amount of balls. Oh my God, I was like, dude, if this podcast was about butts and balls, I mean, I could write like an essay. And then I was like, and then the dicks were just flapping about because you rarely get to see them in the wild. You know what I mean? You rarely get to see them just free with the breeze, just living their best life. It's either like purposely like, trimmed or posed, or like you never get to just see them romping about. And it was just nice to just see free dicks just living their best dreams. And then just like it just gets worse and worse. By worse, I mean better. Where they just, I don't know if they meant to film it, or if it was just like at this point the director's like, lads, just whatever you want to do. And they're like, a boot! They just start throwing all their clothes in. The one guy puts the vicar's collar on.
Yeah, I had that in my notes.
And then like I'm just like, what is even going on? This is ridiculous. Like, what are they gonna wear? And then like it gets even better, because then cut to mom and daughter and good old Daniel Day-Lewis having like the most uptight little stroll.
God, yes.
Yeah.
and you can hear them in the scene in the background, yelling, and it's like they're just zoning it out until like one of the naked people just exits from the magical safety of the glade, and like it's like she's like, oh, my son's naked, and then
He's
like
cupping his balls.
little baby Emerson's like, woohoo! He's like, check this out, Helena Bottom. Look at my foot.
That was amazing. He jumps out. Like, George Emerson's just, like, screams in their face.
Yeah, he just screams at them. Yeah.
Like an ape. It was amazing.
That was insane.
Yeah, because they're like chasing,
God.
they're
And then
chasing
it's
each
like,
other with like a couple of branches or something, like slapping each other on the back. And like it's like Beeb, like they've gotten past the point where they're throwing clothes and stuff at each other. Like Beeb goes, I have a boot. And he throws the boot.
Yeah, it hits little Honeychurch in the arm, and he's like, ow.
He's like, ow.
I also need to point out as well that James Ivory is an American director as well.
That's true.
So like his level of conservatism is incredibly low.
He was adopted.
No.
He was adopted.
Why would I have known that though?
Oh, well, that's what I'm here for. He was adopted, and he found out that his parents, I believe one of them was Irish and one of them was an English person. And he was adopted by Americans.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe it's in his blood.
Potentially, yeah. He's like, well, no. To be fair, he is built for the design of period pieces. Let's put it that way.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. I don't want to finish. I don't want to stop talking about this.
No,
I don't either. Like, oh my God. And then it keeps getting better because the mom, like who I said is this silent fucking killer with her like just kind of like little jokes. She's like, shield your eyes! Like, oh my God, don't look her! And then fucking Daniel Day-Lewis is like, don't worry, ladies, I will, like Ryan said, beat this bush. And he's just like he's trying to save the day.
Yeah.
And then like they almost like mom like runs into the own son. And then oh my God. And then there's that scene where the vicar is trying to climb out of the water. And it's just full on balls. And I don't know what the mom
just
said.
crawling like this. And it's just a shot of his back. It's
So good.
And like Helena Bonham Carter, like, has lost her shit. Like, I don't think that was acting. I think she just was losing her shit. Like, I don't know if that was filmed at the same time, but she just looks like that was like, they were just like, look, we need to keep that in the movie because her reaction's too innocent and pure. She's just loving it. She's like, Vicar's balls.
honestly.
Like, oh.
And he just slinks back into the water.
Yeah.
Like a golem. Like,
Oh no, me balls.
oh my God. It was, I'll hide behind these reeds. Like, dude, it's too late, man. It's already happened. Like, just own it.
God. Yeah, be like a George. Be like a George and swing your balls around.
It was just so good. And then like, I was like, okay, now that I've gotten the shock, I need to watch it again because like I need to like actually like look for the penises now because I was just like, wow, what's going on? I'm in for the ride. And then I was like, because I need to know what my visibility level is here.
And that's an
so
easy
I went
one.
back and
Yes.
had
Yes.
Because you don't. That was what I loved about it because you're watching it and it doesn't stop.
It's a barrage.
It's just
it's
a barrage of
barrage.
dicks and like
Yeah.
and jovial men just having a
'cause,
nice
like,
time. Like
for the most part, it's either completely incidental or it is pronounced to or at least declared to such a degree that like what's gonna happen. But then like what you see and then what comes about is just like, oh no wait, it's still going. Oh wait, it's like, oh, they're running around after each other.
And
It's
more.
like oh fuck, the mother's coming down the road with fucking Cecil. And it's like, oh wait, there's that one shot where like Daniel Day-Lewis is like, I will cut a path, and he starts like slapping down the bushes with his cane as they're
don't
going.
worry, ladies.
And then they go past, and then there's like it's the little boy there, and he's like, oh, you've trodden on me. And he's like tucked in his dick like Buffalo Bill style, and it's like and he's just like, look, I'm very disappointed in you. I expected more.
It's like, why don't you have a bath at home?
Fuck?
Savages.
Thing is, like with this scene in general, like I would say there's so much to digest. I maybe feel like there's too much to digest, and to the point where I'm kind of like, you need to see it to believe it, in order for you to kind of feel like, yes, no, I've experienced it. There's only so much justice we can give it,
and you can't just watch that scene. Like had it not been this like progression of seeing all these like characters in their, Edwardian, like, like overly niceties thing that was like so prevalent, then to see the juxtaposition of this like moment of pure frivolity and just like natural state, from the like hoity-toity collar up to my butthole that, they were living at that point.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I watched a few scenes again, just to kind of like I watched that stabbing scene again, like right before the podcast. And like, there's a thing that the dad says about George. He's like, that we forget as we see him progress through the movie that at the beginning of the movie, like his father was like begging for people to like save him from this like dwelling of like sorrow and like sadness. And he was just like muddled, he called him, like sullen.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
look at him at the fucking end of the movie. Dick's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah, because he
man.
was writing those big question marks like in his plate and then drawing on the back of paintings because he was just like wondering like what is life? What does it all mean?
Yeah.
And instead of saying yes to everything, he's just questioning everything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. Like there's the scene before he kisses HBC, before that beautiful scene in the field, and he's just in a tree. And he's just screaming like, duty, love. And they're like, oh, Papa Emerson, like, what is he doing? He's like, oh, he's just shouting his credo or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then he falls out of the tree.
How the rich live. Daniel Day-Lewis tries his best to steal this scene, but then what we're presented with is a title card that says, "How Miss Bartlett's boiler was so tiresome."
Yeah.
Yeah, again, this is where I officially checked out.
Yeah, you left.
Yeah, I left.
Ryan did not finish this film.
No, I didn't finish it.
Just so you guys know,
No.
didn't watch the end of the movie. He goes, that was the dick scene, right? All right, I'm out.
Did HBC get with that guy who he was like kissed her in the field and stuff?
We'll get
All
to that,
right,
Ryan.
perfect.
Okay, we're not at that part yet, right?
And then it finished.
Yeah. But like in terms of parts that I really, really enjoyed after the dick scene, you know, the rest of the movie's good. Yeah, it's over. I mean, it came to its natural conclusion. They end up back in Florence.
Yeah.
And he's kissing her nipples.
In a room with a
Damn
view.
right.
Yeah,
That's how it ends.
View.
It ends with that titular line. Room with the view.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing in all of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I like that this time didn't give up that room either, because they were sitting at the table and she was like, "Oh, it's exactly the way it was. And there's exactly a version of me and you, cousin Charlotte." And it's like, but it's the other way around. It's the young daughter who's being the bitch to like the old lady. And then they're like, "We have a room with a view, but we're not going to give it to you." And then it ends with them like making out in a window. And you're like,
yeah, it's perfect.
Cool.
It's perfect.
Can I go back to the pond, please?
I know. Bring me back to those boys in the pond. So here we are, coming to an end. And as the guest, Miriam, I would like to ask you, in terms of visibility and context, what would you rate this full frontal male nudity? Out of 5 stars. 5 being tip top, obviously.
Well, I would say 4, only because the dicks were moving really fast. And so, so this is my assessment,
all right.
okay? And so they were moving really fast. So although they were visible, they weren't like visible.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't get any like clarity, but... And if it was like, you know, but otherwise everything about it was amazing. But like, you know, I mean, that's it. So maybe like 4.5 because it was a great scene. But yeah, I'd say I definitely saw more balls than penis.
Yeah, I would probably definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
There is a lot more balls than shaft.
Much more than I was expecting.
Yes.
Much more than I remember.
The thing is, like, the one thing I will see, everyone seems relatively quite proud. At no point do you feel like you're like, oh, that's shrunk.
They filmed it in the summer. The water was quite warm.
Yes.
It looked very shallow.
Yeah.
So it was probably pretty warm.
Yeah.
You know, okay. All right. So,
Yeah.
Ryan, visibility and context ratings.
So I'll probably go a step above Miriam's rating and give it maybe a 4.5, maybe a 5.
You gotta give me. I need it. I need a concrete answer.
All right, 4.5.
Okay.
4.5. I do agree with Miriam is that you only get certain parts of the genitalia focused on for certain periods of time. But at the same time, I would also say that you see enough, but for the most part, they are moving around a fair amount. You know, so it does feel quite blurry. But then it's also kind of related to the fact that you're just like, what the fuck is happening? And it happens for so long. So you're just kind of like, no, there's a dick in the balls. There's like everything's kind of happening. And then it's like they're whipping each other with fucking leaves and branches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's a boot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just kind of all kind of happening all at once.
And here's a boot.
And you know, it's like he puts on the Vicar's collar as well at one point, which I was like, yes.
So good.
Perfect. But yeah, no, I would probably agree. It's not a perfect rating, but it's also like the most varied and most interesting scene that we have covered on this podcast to date.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was just too much to cover for 2 people.
Yeah. We needed help.
We needed help. We need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much.
I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Okay.
5 stars.
I knew you would.
It is insane. It is the craziest thing. I never forgot this since the first time I saw it, which was years ago. It comes out of the blue, but it's absolute perfection. It is fun. It is wild. It is strange. But it works really, really well within the context of the film. And again, like we were talking about, when are we ever going to see something like this again?
No, it's completely
Yeah.
individual. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane. Yeah.
You know? And it comes out of love, you know? James Ivory and Merchant, like, a lot of love went into this, you know? And I think that's why it is their breakout film.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would agree.
So,
Very
5
much
stars.
agree.
So then our last rating is, what would you rate the film out of 5 stars? I'll go with you, Miriam. Be honest.
Well, like I've mentioned a few times, romance is not my genre of choice. I'm more of a horror, sci-fi, fantasy kind of person. So I can't rate it super high because I would never have watched this movie if it wasn't for the fact that you said there was going to be dicks in it.
Yeah.
You know, but I do my homework as a guest.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Sorry to the award-winning film as not the cinematography and the beauty of it, but as a film, I'm going to give it like a 3 because I would probably never watch it again or recommend it
That's
to
a pretty
anyone
high score.
to watch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pretty high score.
It's better than average, I
Yeah,
would say.
3. I mean, it won awards and it's beautiful, and for the time period, like, it just seems very, like, British 1980s film.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been a play, but that dick scene would have been hard to pull off in the West End. So,
Yeah, we wouldn't have gotten that pleasure. Okay,
Really
Ryan,
sorry.
what would you rate this film? What did you rate
So
it?
I'm kind of in the Miriam camp with this film, in that I don't really want to see it again because it's not my cup of tea. But I gave it 3.5 because it is, for the most part, up until the point of where the dick scene happens, it is engaging. Like, it does kind of draw you in a fair amount.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, I mean, I don't like period films just in general. Like, they don't appeal to me, like, whatsoever.
Right.
But I do like a good ensemble cast, which is what this is. Like, there's a fantastic cast that's been put into this film. You've got your HBC, your DDLs, you've got your Maggie Smith, your Judi Dench, and I'm just like, I'm lapping it up. Like, I love that
dames
shit.
everywhere. Dames everywhere.
Yeah, I fucking love it. And, like, Judi Dench is hardly in this movie, but she's in it for long enough where you're like, Judi Dench is in this movie. It's worth watching.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
And her hats are memorable.
But the problem is like, there's a predictability after the dick scene that narratively, I'm just like, I know exactly what's going to happen. That's why I checked out. I just didn't want to endure another 45 minutes of what we'd already came to expect from the story. And I've got no issue with E.M. Forster's like work or anything like that. I think his books are probably fucking fantastic because he also did Howard's End as well.
Right.
And I think it's very much like, it's pioneering, game-breaking sort of stuff. I think that stuff's really cool. The problem is that it's just not my cup of tea. That's why I gotta settle at a 3.5.
I think that's also very generous.
And the only reason I give it an extra half star is for the fact this film looks fucking beautiful. And at times, I'm just like staring at it and I'm like, I can't believe they were able to get that, but it's because they gave it a bit of due care, little bit of precision. And like that scene just on its own where she has to run down there and they're going through the fields and stuff, I was just like, I need you to pause it so I can look at it a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, that scene.
But the
That
rest
first
of it,
kiss.
I find it interminably fucking boring for the most part. So,
All right. I'm going to stick with my original score because I had watched this and I had rated it on Letterboxd and I gave it 4, and I'm going to keep it a 4 because this movie makes me laugh. It's so weird, but it's got that sweet, sweet romance. I love me some romance, and the sheer amount of penis and balls in this movie is unheard of, and those penis and balls will stay very close to my heart forever.
Wow.
And I love it. I love it. I love a romance. Helena Bonham Carter is gorgeous. She's just like this little cute girl with her little cheeks. Daniel Day-Lewis is magnificent. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Aye.
I just never realized how tall he was.
He's
so tall. And is he that tall, or like does he just look really tall? Does he wearing high heels?
He's a big lanky gent. Like, I mean, he's a big boy, like that guy. Yeah.
Well, thank you,
No
Ryan,
idea.
for being here with me today, and
I'm always here.
Extra special thank you to Miriam for virtually joining us from Ireland to talk about this very English film in these very English
Very
balls.
English. So ballsy.
Yes. And we should do this again. Maybe we'll get you on a horror movie next time.
Yeah, or just anything that isn't romance, please.
This is our first romance film. So
Yes.
like a classic romance. Everything else is like drama, thriller.
I mean, to be
comedy.
fair, the romance genre tends to be, conservative in nature.
That is true.
That's
true.
why I give a nod to James Ivory for his daring, brazen approach to this genre. Because
Absolutely.
what a fucking
you,
trailblazer he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I don't remember the name of the pub, but coming to you from the Beehive Pub, which I think is the name of the place that they go to have tea in
Either
the film.
way.
I have been Laura.
I've been Ryan.
And I'm still Miriam.
Excellent. We'll see you next time. Thank you again, everybody. And see you later.
Goodbye.